I was actually hoping there might be another intervention from the gallery just to stop that long rant from Humza Yousaf that didn't address the question at all, because I specifically asked... Here they go.
Oh, there is now more shouting from the gallery.
We will suspend.
Ah, and now she's suspended the sitting again. Interesting, and because there's been lots of focus on Kate Forbes, obviously was the financial secretary. She's turned down being demoted to Rural Affairs. There's been a lot of focus on that. This Minister for Independence, this seems at the outer edges of what's acceptable. The point that Douglas Ross is making, that this is someone to further a political campaign, not because there's no realistic prospect of it being a government policy to be delivered by a Minister for Independence.
Well, the Scottish Government under Nicola Sturgeon produced a series of papers to try and set out the policy roadmap to independence. It remains to be seen exactly what Jamie Hepburn, who has been appointed into this role, will actually be doing, what the Minister for Independence is for. And as you say, whether it feeds into any actual government policy or whether it is largely a campaigning role, details are pretty sketchy on that. I suspect as the day goes on, we'll be finding out a little bit more about that. But again, as you say, not exactly a succinct answer from Humza Yousaf there, and also an answer that was very much the question he wished he was asked rather than the one that came through from Douglas Ross. Which, in fairness, is not confined to Humza Yousaf.
No, exactly. And actually, the tougher the questions get, that's not a bad skill to have. Right, let's go back then. This is FMQs Unpacked. We go back live to Hollywood. This is question number 2 from Douglas Ross.
I found myself in the bizarre place that I was actually hoping there might be another intervention from the gallery just to stop that long rant from Humza Yousaf that didn't address the question at all, because I specifically asked... Here they go.
Oh, there is now more shouting from the gallery.
We will suspend.
Ah, and now she's suspended the sitting again. Blimey, it's all going very well, Kieran.
It's excellent, isn't it? It's there's something about when things are going against you as a political leader, and Humza Yousaf has had a tricky start as SNP leader's First Minister. Some of it you might say self-inflicted, over offering Kate Forbes a lesser position, so she resigned, sacking Keith Brown, who's the deputy leader of the SNP, from his cabinet, which again will be tricky for party management. But other things, when things are against you, sometimes they just pile up. This morning, Margaret Ferrier, the former SNP MP, receiving a 30-day suspension from the House of Commons, meaning that in all likelihood a recall petition will lead to the triggering of a by-election, which is going to be a tough one for the SNP to fight. Labour very confident there. Something Humza Yousaf could have done without, but it's totally out with his control, that's now going to fall into his lap. And here, his first FMQs, he can barely get a word in edgeways because of protesters from the chamber.
Do we know what
maybe they're just unhappy with his long answers.
Do we know what they're protesting about?
Not today, because I'm not in the chamber, so can't see it.
See
cut away. But in recent weeks have generally been about climate change. That's been the general nature of the protests over the past few weeks. And I would imagine it's the same.
So I think they're now back in. This is exciting.
We
don't get this in PMQs.